Oh, I think I nearly went deaf there.
That can be arranged.
We're on. Yep, we're here again, aren't we, Dan? We're here for Space September, and we're kicking it off in style once again. Is that right?
And we're on with the moron. Can we call our YouTube channel that?
Sure. On with the moron.
I like how we just approved that.
Yeah.
Cool. We're not doing that. Right, again, hello, welcome aboard YouTube. This is the YouTube channel where Tommy here reviews films. I push a load of buttons that make some technical stuff all look good on screen. It doesn't look very good on screen because we're quite ugly.
Basically, he does the walking, I do the talking.
Yeah, and we just do it on a budget.
Damn right.
Like you can see the ceiling because we have a green screen it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, the movie is happening as we speak, you know.
Well, not quite, because we haven't revealed what the movie is. So, we're in September, which means one thing. Tommy will explain all.
We are talking about space films. So, films that take place in, well, space. And also sci-fi epics and sci-fi operas and space operas specifically. Anything that takes place up there beyond the stars, you know? So
and we know how this works, by the way, if you're new here. Space September is what we're calling it. That's what we do. Every month is themed. This month's theme is space.
Damn right. Yeah, it's all about space. We are going to be talking about a film that actually came out this year, Dan. We're going to be talking about a film called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So this is the last one in the Guardians trilogy. The potential final Marvel film for me to be interested in as well.
Why?
Well, first off, considering these Guardians characters flourished in their two previous films, as well as Infinity War and Endgame, which all took place during the MCU's heyday, this is kind of the last hurrah, because everything else that Marvel's been spurning out in the last couple of years, it's not been good. You know,
finally, we agree.
Apart from Spider-Man No Way Home, everything else has just been okay to rubbish. James Gunn is the first director to fully helm a solo MCU trilogy. John Watts' Spider-Man trilogy not counted due to being co-owned by Sony Pictures, and all three of these Guardians pictures express a lot of successful humour, fun, and emotion. This one is my least favourite of the three, as I feel the villain was not as engaging as the second film, and the story was less engaging than the first film. But that does not mean this film has no merits to call out on. The meat of this film really lays on the character of Rocket, as his origin is finally explored. He has always been my favourite Guardian, as his humour elements are a lot of the time outweighed by his emotional ones. This film kind of felt like two separate storylines flowing alongside each other, to the point where it almost became a prequel slash, a bit like The Godfather Part 2, or maybe from your point of view, maybe something like Finding Dory, where it has both flashbacks and also takes place after the first film. So as
You haven't seen Finding Dory, have you?
No, I haven't.
It shows.
What, is it not like that at all? I mean, I thought there were like flashbacks to Dory's childhood and stuff in it. But
Yes, there were. Yeah.
So it's a prequel to Finding Nemo, but also a sequel. It's that's what this film is much like.
Almost. It's more of a Finding Dory is more of a character-y way. Like you're going back to the foundations of a single character.
Yeah.
Rather than like what they did with Monsters University, when you're actually going back in time.
Yeah, which was a full-on prequel, and that was not a sequel at all, because there was no elements to it that took place after Monsters Inc. So,
which is a shame, missed opportunity.
I really need to rewatch Monsters Inc. By the way, I bloody love that film.
I did like Monsters University, I had to say.
There were
a few faults, but it was all right. It was
each their own. Yeah, it just didn't personally do it for me. The humour in this film may be the best of the three.
Sorry.
Thanks.
That was me.
Yep. What with Drax and Mantis hitting the comedy beats as always, and the film finally dropping the Marvel's first ever F-bomb, which was ballsy and welcomed to remind us that this isn't just another soulless cash grab of a Marvel film. This entire trilogy has been a James Gunn passion project, and this film continues to prove that. So yeah, this is the first time anybody in a Marvel film says the word fuck, and it's, well, a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, and it says fuck, and it's fucking great, man.
Why have they never sworn before in Marvel?
Because it's like, because of the demographic it's aimed at, you know, it's family entertainment, you know, they aim for, like, a lot of children watch Marvel films, you know.
And they just decided.
It's almost like a Pixar film dropping the F-bomb, you know, at this point, because they're all owned by Disney. The Guardians film.
If they redid Toy Story 1 just to include that.
If they could have one fuck in Toy Story, where would you?
It would be
You
in the
you are a fucking child's plaything.
Yeah, that's it. When they're in that.
Yeah, when they're having that argument, that's yeah.
In the petrol station.
You are a fucking toy. Stuff like that.
I can see it happening. Tom Hanks is up for it. I just know he is.
Yeah.
I just know he is.
The Guardians films are known mostly for the music that comes with them, and this film offers us more ear-luring tunes, namely No Sleep Till Brooklyn by the Beastie Boys, which is a great song, and In the Meantime by Space Dog being my favourite new discoveries this time round. But the soundtrack to the first film is still my favourite of the three. That's what I love about these films. Even though they're sci-fi epics, they take place up in space and they've got like superhero elements to them. They always play music from the 60s, 70s, and the 80s, and it's awesome. And that's
3 great decades.
And that's my jam, and sometimes the 90s as well. And but this music, like it's great because it grounds it. Like you're thinking, oh, how am I supposed to relate to this film? It takes place in space with aliens and all that. But if you hear music in it from our culture.
From our world,
it really boils it back down to to Earth, doesn't it? So it's that's
I like
always
how you worded that. Boils back down to Earth.
Yeah, like
Space September.
Yeah, it just boils it all back down. The villain was also quite underwhelming, as he just became another shouty villain trying to be scary, but just comes across too hammy in his performance as a result.
That's a shame.
Not a patch on Kurt Russell's ego from the second film. The second film had the best villain of all three of them. But yeah, this villain was he was just okay. Right. So to close, the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy stands up there with the Captain America and Spider-Man home trilogies as MCU-related cohesive film series that flow well together, and all three have noteworthy aspects that make the MCU such an entertaining franchise to delve into. Aside from what the MCU will do with Spider-Man films going forward, I have no real interest to follow the Marvel Cinematic Universe anymore, and this Guardians film was an emotional and satisfying bow out to me as a fan.
Wow.
So on that note, Dan, I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5.
So you think that they ended it for the real fans?
Yes, yeah.
And let the cash grabbing continue running the name.
All you need to do is look on Disney Plus to see, we're getting an oversaturation of Marvel stuff now to the point where it's not special anymore. I remember a time when I remember when I
live for that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I know you do. But we lived in a time where once about a decade ago where we only got 2 films a year from Marvel. Now, I mean, in the past year we've had 3 movies, 6 mini-series on Disney Plus.
It's the mini-series that do it, innit?
But because they're all in the same universe, some of these things that happen in the film, you might not have had the time to commit to all these mini-series, so you don't really understand what's going on in the films, because they talk about stuff that happened in the mini-series. So it's just, it's too much. It's an overabundance. Superhero films aren't special anymore, Dan, and it really angers me. Me and producer man Steve, we went to the cinema on Saturday to watch Batman 1989.
Right.
And that came out at a time when superheroes were not mainstream. You got one superhero film every 3 years, probably, and they were special. There was just something about them that was special.
Yeah.
And now it's just this overly done brand thing. It's like having eating cake for breakfast. If you had cake for breakfast every day, you'd get sick of it. But if you have cake for breakfast once every 2 years or something, then it's quite special, isn't it?
And again, I felt the same with Doctor Who, another sci-fi.
Yeah, yeah.
The series was really good, really engaging, but
it went on too long.
They kept going and going and go. When they'd run out of story, they just kept going in for the cash grab.
Yeah.
Same with sitcoms as well.
That's literally what the studios talk about, really, isn't it? It's the studio versus the writers. The writers the studio's like, oh my god, make us 2 more seasons of this. We'll just keep the cash flowing so long as it comes back to us. We don't care. And the writers are like, but we've written ourselves into a hole here. How do we get out of this? You know, like we want to take care of these with the characters and everything, and we want to pay respect to that. We don't want to, egg this on too long.
That's where, if you have the books first in most situations, and you stick true to the book, it's already published, therefore they stick with it.
Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, prime example.
Yes, and that
even though Harry Potter's getting remade now.
Is it? Oh,
yeah. It's going to be remade for streaming or something stupid like that. So it's not even like those films that made hundreds of billions of dollars. You know, like.
But the thing is, these films are still they're still charting. They're still big films.
Well, they're all on Netflix now, aren't they? For one thing.
Yeah, and I think it's the way the world's going.
Yeah.
Netflix is what $15.99 a month.
But I do look back.
Way less than what you'd pay in a cinema.
I look back to all these franchises now that have been ruined, you know, like Marvel, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, I guess, for yourself. 'Cause I never watched Doctor Who. I didn't really understand it. You know.
It was a bit confusing.
Yeah. And Indiana Jones. You know, like all these classic films that have been ruined. Disney. Like the Disney Renaissance films, because all the classic Disney films are now being remade.
Yeah. Simpsons as well. They should have cut that
years
ago.
Simpsons should have been done over 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I've been told by everybody, because I've got a few friends who are major Simpsons fans, and they've all said the same thing, that it should have ended in like season 8 or 9.
Yeah. We're
in season 33 now. It's unbelievable.
Whenever I watch Simpsons now and it's all modern and they've got iPads,
Family Guy,
it's no good.
Family Guy's the same.
Family Guy's the same.
South Park, I think, is the same. It's just gone on way too long. They've just talked about beating a dead horse, you know. Just end it, you know. That's like what Ricky Gervais did with, you know, I'm sure you've heard of The Office that he did. He only did 2 series of The Office.
Sorry, how many?
2. He did 2 series of The Office, and then BBC wanted him to do a series 3, and he said, "No, I'm gonna do a special. I'm gonna do a Christmas special, and we're gonna end it."
Mrs. Brown's Boys, 3 series, perfect, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, it was great to start with, and it slowly just got worse and worse.
They've milked and milked and milked. They've got another series on at the moment. I don't even think it's funny. They've just milked it too much. And the thing, you know, because it was successful, so they just keep milking the cow. And the thing is, but there's another one as well. Really good series.
Just let sleeping dogs lie, you know.
But you see, you know, when you had other shows, you had Little Britain, Come Fly With Me, you had the IT Crowd, Rick and Morty. They're all
the In-Betweeners, Merlin even.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like Merlin kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Merlin should not have ended the way that it did.
No. I think Merlin could have had maybe another season or 2.
But they could have done probably another 1 season.
I wish they'd had like a whole season where Arthur knew about Merlin having magic. Yeah. That'd have been cool.
That's what I would like.
But hey, it wasn't to be. Yeah, but never mind, you know, onward and upward through this month, Dan.
We could be going on and on and on forever. Yep. We're passionate.
We are very passionate about this stuff.
And if you're passionate, you know what to do, right? You can like, comment, subscribe, and all that other stuff. Little bell icon tells you when we're live as well. You know, roughly it's this time on a Tuesday. And of course, you can follow us over on Letterboxd. I do very little, if not nothing. Tommy does a lot. And you can find us how?
You can find us by searching Larkins95 or Dan Moore Radio.
See, when I don't look at him, he gets it right. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Dan Moore Radio on Letterboxd. Feel free to look us up. Feel free to follow us. Feel free to comment on our reviews.
Don't look me up on the radio. You won't find me there. But anyway, have a great one, everyone. Thank you very much, so much for watching, of course. Not long left of the year, Tommy. We're almost down to the 3. We're almost at the crunch. You know what I mean by the crunch?
Yes.
The one we look forward to all year round.
The festive crunch, shall we say?
Oh, yes, indeed. It's coming. It's
coming.
It's coming.
I mean, because of course we've got the scary movies for October.
Yes.
We've got, for November, I've forgotten. Please feel free to look.
Allow me to lift my giant skirt on the wall. Way! Ha 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 ha! Yes!
Is it going to be a fun one?
Oh, yes.
What's in store for us for November?
Negative November.
So we'll be talking about the shittest films that we can talk about. That'll be fun.
You watched the SpongeBob movie yet?
I like how I mentioned that, and that's when you bring SpongeBob into it. That's really
See,
filling me with a lot of hope.
No, because you think it's bad.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Have you seen it?
No,
Why?
because
You thought it was bad? Oh, well, there you go.
because I never watched the TV show.
Really?
I never watched SpongeBob growing up. I wasn't a Nickelodeon kid. I was a Cartoon Network kid through and through. I was loyal to the end. I'm loyal even now. I watched that thing I sent you, the picture I sent you the other day, where you had to pick your 3 favourites.
Damn, that was hard.
Yeah.
That was pretty hard. But
Yeah.
you like Rugrats, right?
Yeah, I like Rugrats,
That's Nickelodeon.
but I kind of knew it more.
To be fair, I didn't actually do Nickelodeon until like my teen years.
I didn't
to be
watch.
honest.
I didn't watch the show of the Rugrats that much. I only know it more from the films, really. I watched
You know,
the
the
films.
series is just as good.
Yeah,
Really
I've
good
seen
series.
bits of it, and it does look quite entertaining.
It's really good. The main character's named after you. Anyway, have a great one, everyone. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back at you next week for another movie review in Space September.
Take care, Dan, and take care, everyone. Have a good one.
Adios.